And now, it's time for another episode of the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A show made by 12s from around the world, for 12s around the world. I'm Mozette, and here is your host and my dad, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity.
Yes, welcome everyone to episode 820, the Washington edition of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show, as your Seattle Seahawks get ready to take on the Washington, team. So please, put your tray table up and place your seats back in the full upright position. Keep your arms and legs inside the podcast at all times. Settle in with a desired scent or beverage of your choice. And what can I tell you? So nice to have a bye this late in the season. Thank you, Jets. So glad to be back here for 195th episode. Let's meet the posse for this episode. First, the yin to my yang, Matt from merry old England. Hi, Matt.
Good morning, Moses. How are you?
Matt, I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm all right, actually. I've been working all week on vaccinations.
Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
All week on vaccinations. And I understand, actually, your vice president got vaccinated earlier, either today or yesterday, something like that.
I believe so. I believe he did.
Apparently, he didn't feel a thing, which is not unusual. He's used to bigger pricks than what he got, probably.
So what do you say, Matt?
I couldn't possibly comment.
Okay. Well, we'll move on then.
It would affect US-UK relations. I can't have that right.
Yeah, we can't have that. We can't have an international incident on this show. And then there's our news hound, Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses. How are you?
Fantastic. How are you doing, sir?
Been kind of a rough week, actually.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah, Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
Walking home from your house Christmas Eve?
Well, a little earlier than
it was a little earlier, yeah. You know, you could say there's no such thing as Santa, Will, but as for me and Grandpa, we believe. And someone else who believes is Dustin. Hi, Dustin.
Hello, guys. Glad to hear everybody again.
Yeah. Hey, how you doing? How's you doing?
I'm doing well. Kona's doing well. We're just here hanging out. I also tried to get the vaccine today. It did not work out for me. Just a little PSA, just so everybody knows, if you've had your flu shot within 2 weeks, you're not eligible for the vaccination for COVID. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. All right. But you are in line, it sounds like.
Yeah, I am. Healthcare worker, so I got to get it. It's just can't get it yet.
Nice for you. Nice for you. And guess what, folks? We have a special guest in the guest seat this evening. Surprise guest, our return guest, actually, a multi New York bestseller book list person, writer, comedian.
That is how you say
extraordinary. And this. I gotta tell everybody the true story. Dustin tells me all week, I've got my brother from New Zealand coming on the show. And so I'm researching all this New Zealand stuff. I'm ready, man. I got my New Zealand stuff ready to go. And about an hour before the show, he goes, we need to talk. Because apparently it was not his brother from New Zealand. It was the one, the only, the fantastic Sarah Colonna. Sarah!
Hi!
Welcome back! We missed you.
Thank you. Oh my God. My new favorite intro is whatever you just said. Multiple
I couldn't even tell you what I just said.
New York Times bookseller person.
Yeah,
author, comedian.
Honestly, I think it's more impressive than the truth. You know what I mean? It's just it seemed like I had so many books just flying out of my home.
More than one?
We don't even know. Yeah, I do have two, but
yes!
He made it seem like I have 80, and I'm all for that. And thank you for that introduction.
Comedian, actress on Shameless, on Insatiable, on Chelsea Lately. I could go on and on about your wonderful accolades, my dear. You're just a wonderful person. We're so glad you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Even though I had none of that written down, by the way.
No,
I know. Tell.
Yeah, no, I can definitely tell. You guys don't seem to take a lot of notes.
I have in the past, but I am beyond thrilled that you're here. Thank you for joining us.
Oh my God, of course. I'm happy to join you guys. And I'm glad that it just makes me feel really smart to figure out how to use a computer these days, Such a bonus.
And I finally meet you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes, Matt. Of course. Sarah, Matt, Sarah.
Oh, that's right. We haven't spoken before. I was like, I don't remember this accent from last time. So
no,
he was bitterly upset that he
on to sound posh.
I thought it was Alabama.
Intelligent.
I'm from Arkansas, so believe me, if you had a Kentucky accent, I'd know it. I'd know it.
I can barely do an English accent, let alone a Kentucky one. I've got no chance.
Well, I told these guys I grew up in southeastern Indiana, right across from Kentucky, and I go down for about a weekend. I'll come back. I'll start talking like this again. It's just fall right back into it.
Oh, it comes out of nowhere. I do
Doesn't
that
it?
same thing. Yeah, when
Yeah.
I talk to my mom, I'm like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Right?
Nice.
Hey,
She's like,
Sarah,
"You
where
sound
in
worse than me."
Arkansas? Where in Arkansas? I've got a friend in Fayetteville.
Yeah, that's where I went to college, and that's where I grew up, Fayetteville.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I grew up in Farmington, not to brag, but I grew up in Farmington, which is just outside of Fayetteville, but it's just a very small town right outside of Fayetteville. But then that's where I lived for college and went to college at the University of Arkansas. So
fantastic.
I know it well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I know we've only got you for a short time tonight. I appreciate you sticking your head in and saying hi. So we'll kind of devote the first quarter just kind of talking to you and the Christmas season. I know being around John, I'm sure you probably have a
my
few
God.
stories. And
He loves the Christmas season
yes.
so much.
and I want to hear about the cat and the latest on the cat and everything
Wait, hold
else.
on. Let me get John. Should I get him in here to talk about Christmas?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, if
Real
you want
quick, though,
to.
Yeah.
No, it's very Christmassy. It's
Yeah.
Christmas AF, as the kids would say in
Excellent.
our house.
Excellent.
As you know, John Ryan loves the Christmas season.
Of course she
And
does.
we have 4, maybe 5 Christmas trees in a.
Excellent.
They can't hear you. I'm going to give him the
Nice.
headphones so he can talk to you guys really quickly.
oh, great.
Hello.
Hi, John. Thank you so much
Hi.
for letting Sarah join us.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, we appreciate all that you do. And we were just talking about Christmas in particular. You seem to be a bit of a fan.
Big fan. Big fan. Our house is very well decorated with. It looks like North Pole just puked all over our house.
Nice.
I like it.
And when you start getting out, like right after Halloween?
Yeah, preferably. I know everyone says you have to wait till Thanksgiving, but I like to. I'm Canadian, so Thanksgiving's in October, so that's what I.
Well, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Always
perfect.
thinking.
And are you ever going to bring the cat into the house?
We've been trying to get the cat into the house.
Yeah.
Sarah's talked to you about the cat, Rudy.
He's named now.
He's named, yeah. I don't think the cat will ever come to the house, but if he does, I don't think he'll last long. He doesn't like us very much.
Yeah.
Well, you
he
do his
lives
feet.
in the house and he has a real attitude towards us. I think he is disgusted by the way we live, and I think he just takes off.
Has he seen the Christmas trees? Because cats usually love those things.
Really? I did not know that.
Oh yes, they love to jump up and get the ornaments and climb in them and
Okay.
everything.
They say that cats love Christmas trees, Sarah.
Oh, yeah, they have to crawl up in them. You'd hate that.
Oh,
See,
yeah.
there you go.
Well,
And
maybe,
pretty much all cats look on humans with
Yeah.
disdain.
Will is our cat expert. In fact, Will has a pet cat. Right, Will?
Yes. Yes, they all look on humans with disdain. Varying levels, but
As long as you keep feeding Rudy. I love the name Rudy.
Yeah, that's the name that Sarah gave him because he seems like a bit of a prick.
Here, and I was thinking that was a football reference.
No, not at all. It has nothing to do with Notre Dame or an undersized kid trying to walk onto the football team. It just has to do purely with him being a prick.
Being a prick.
That's awesome.
I've got a couple names now I'm going to use next time that happens when I have a stray cat that's a prick. I know who I'm going to call him. But
What do I get the feeling like he's sitting outside somewhere making plans about blowing up this house? Like it's
probably,
He might be
Matt.
outside right now. Yeah.
Just eyeballing the house.
Scheming.
be afraid. Be very afraid.
Yeah, poor Will. He had some stories.
Hey, that
Oh, yeah.
Christmas card you guys did was pretty awesome, man. We got a good laugh out of that.
Oh my gosh, that was amazing.
So Sarah and I have been doing Christmas cards for 5 or 6 years now. And we always, I don't know where it happened. It actually started in Cleveland. We were at the Christmas Story house and we tried on the pink bunny outfits
Oh yeah.
at the Christmas Story house. And we took a picture and I was like, just look sad. We both look sad. And then we're like, that's our Christmas card. And that's where it started. And so every year for the last 5 or 6 years, we've always had like a very sad Christmas card.
Oh
And then
yeah.
this year we were like, we really have to like have a really sad Christmas card. and I think we nailed it.
You nailed 2020. You absolutely nailed 2020.
You really caught that vibe.
There's no question about it. You guys nailed 2020. And I love the Instagrams when she's laying in bed with things all around her body, and you just look over at her like, you got that look on your face like.
Yeah, the overall vibe of her Instagram when we're together is like she's trying to do something, and I'm just annoyed by it.
Yes, that comes off well.
But, like to be fair to her, I'm relatively annoyed at everything. So.
Understandable.
Except Christmas.
Except for Christmas.
Yes,
yeah.
love Christmas.
Christmas is a non-prick. Everything else is a prick.
That's great. How many trains do you have set up this year?
Just the one train.
Okay.
It runs between two different Christmas trees, but it's the Polar Express.
Awesome.
I run it from the couch, and it's very fun for me.
See, the cat would love that too, probably.
Yeah.
The cat would love that, yeah.
Or try to destroy it, one of the two.
Again,
I've got
scheming.
this image of this cat like tying like mice to the tracks like a 1920s criminal, with
Nice.
the
Little mustache, has little whiskers, kind of wiggles him like a little bad guy,
Yeah, totally.
I could totally see that, Matt.
Well, I'm not a cat person, but I'm falling in love with this cat.
He's a lovable cat.
Well, the best part is her playing the love songs when it won't come in. Like, why won't you love me or whatever? And the cat's just looking at her like, looking at Sarah like, I don't know why you're even bothering, lady.
I'm gonna shit in your slippers.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. You guys have big Christmas plans, John?
No, we don't actually at all.
Yeah.
With everything going on right now with the lockdown and coronavirus, we're just going to hang out, her and I. Really, it's really the way we prefer it.
Sure.
No one else. And we're just going to hang out here at home and, probably watch some good Christmas movies.
Very awesome. I know about a month or two ago, you had a visitor that people know. Stephen Hauschka visited you. It looked like you guys were getting along great.
Yeah, no, I still see Steve probably about once a month. As it all turned out, we played together in Seattle for all those years, and now we live about an hour apart here in California, and we still, even during quarantine, we can still have a socially distanced time together. And we still meet up about once a month. So
that's awesome. And he just retired, and we did a whole quarter devoted to him. Talked about him and his impact on the Seahawk seasons and stuff, and how fortunate we were to have both of you at that time. The kickers were amazing at that time, so we were very fortunate.
I think that really he was, in my opinion, one of the most unsung heroes of that team. And
yes.
Maybe not unsung, because I think people in Seattle really realized how amazing he was back in, especially 2013, 2014. He was so clutch, and he won us so many games. And without him, I don't think I have a Super Bowl ring, to be honest.
It's funny because my son's 15, and he was just starting to watch the Seahawks, when that was all. He was about 10 or 11 when Al started. And we were watching highlights the other day, and he looked at me and he goes, "Do you know, Dad?" He said, "Hauschka's maybe the most underrated player on that team." And I said, "I think you're right."
Absolutely. And the cool thing is, at the time, I think the people in Seattle people in the Pacific Northwest realized how great he was, and they really celebrated that. But I really, as I said, I really don't think that I have a ring on my finger without Stephen Hauschka.
Oh, I agree.
He was as good as they come for 3, 4, 5 years there. He in my opinion, one of the biggest crimes that he never went to a Pro Bowl. When
yes.
He was probably one of the best kickers to ever do it in the NFL.
Without question, and one of the best to never go to a Pro Bowl. I think that's an easy distinction there. Yeah, it's a shame he never did, because I know house money around our house, and that's I just shake your head because it was always automatic. It was always automatic.
Yeah,
I think kind of blessed.
We almost started taking it for granted.
Yes,
it's like anytime the ball was inside the 35-yard line, it was at least 3 points. And
yes,
I feel like we definitely started taking that for granted.
Yeah, we certainly did. Well, guys, you have any other questions?
I was caught off guard, very surprised. I appreciate you coming on, John.
Yes.
It's awesome to talk to you.
So much.
Oh, no, thank you for having me.
Yeah, big fans of you and Sarah.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate it. Is Sarah trying to get the cat inside the house as we speak, or?
She's actually wrestling with the cat just outside the door, but I can get her right back on here.
Okay, thanks, John, for joining us.
John.
Thank you.
Guys.
Hey guys.
Hey.
I figured you wouldn't be mad at a little John Ryan.
No, not at all. Not at all. Thank you so much.
That was a really nice
Sarah.
surprise. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank both of you.
Listen, he
Yeah.
annoys me, so it's like, at least if you could talk to somebody else for 5 minutes during the
Give
day.
you a break.
Oh, there you go. Keep
Give
him
you a break for
occupied.
5 minutes.
I'm kidding. No, we don't get annoyed with each other at all. But he did just leave the room immediately when I got the headphones. I was like, great, now I can just go watch Lifetime again without.
Oh, the Lifetime movies, yes. You're watching a ton of those, aren't you?
I am. I mean, it's what entertains me.
Yeah.
It's so, and I actually started a podcast on it with another comedian friend of mine, because she was like, why don't we just talk about Lifetime movies, because it's all we do all day at this point. And I was like, yeah, we kind of should. And it's a specific audience, but it's a big audience. So we were like, let's just have some fun and make fun of those. So
Oh, that's fantastic.
Did
Yeah,
you
why
see
not?
that 15-minute mini movie starring
did I see it?
KFC?
Yeah. Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders. It was.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that kind
Don't
of.
call me crouton.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was the best line of the whole thing. The guy calls him crouton. He goes, "Don't call me crouton." And my friend Mary, who I do the podcast with, she goes, "Is that like a kitchen slur we don't know about? Like, like, do cooks call each other crouton? Like, what does that even mean? By the way, like, you're delicious and garlicky. Like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't see that as an insult.
You're stale, apparently.
I see. See, I just never. I would never think of a crouton as an insult. I think of is it a bonus on a salad. So
Yeah,
That's the best part of the salad. Is the crouton.
Oh, yeah.
It was fascinating though, and because like when the commercial came out for it, I was like, this can't be real. This is just an ad, you know. And then I guess it was ultimately a 15-minute ad for KFC starring Mario Lopez. Like, yeah, I mean it. And the good thing is I think they were in on the joke, sort of, where it was a very cheesy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I basically set my alarm to get up and watch that at 9 a.m. on a Sunday. So I'm busy.
Didn't Will Ferrell and Kristen Wiig do one a couple years ago?
They did.
And it was very serious, and everyone kept waiting for the punchline. It never happened.
Yeah, well, I think what a lot of people didn't realize was like the punchline was the whole movie.
Yes, yes, that's what I took it as.
She held a gun and said the standard Lifetime movie, like, get away from me, whatever.
Yeah.
And he threw out weird lines, and the whole movie was, they acted very serious, but the script was ridiculous. So
it was
they
just play on those movies. Yeah, that's what I took it as when I saw. I thought, oh, this is excellent, and everyone's like, I don't get it. I'm like, there's nothing to get.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, and I think probably the people that didn't get it had just never seen a Lifetime movie before, so they didn't realize like it was a spoof on a spoof almost.
Right.
Yeah, probably saw two SNL guys and thought, yeah, let's check this out. This will be hilarious.
Yeah, and then they were like, "What's happening?" Which I totally understand. If you don't know, you're like, "What am I watching?" Yeah. But it was entertaining.
Well, what is the name of the podcast that you're doing? I've seen it advertised. I haven't looked at it yet, but I know.
Thank you. It's called Are You My Podcast?
That's right. Are You My Podcast?
Yeah, kind of a play on like, Are You My Mommy, basically, which was like an old school Lifetime movie. So just playing with titles. But yeah, it's Are You My Podcast? And we just started it and it's been fun so far. So
excellent. Are You My Podcast? We're
I'll
going to check that
definitely
out for sure. Yes, definitely check that.
Definitely.
I've seen it on your Instagram, and I haven't checked it out yet. But now I know it's about Hallmark, so I'll watch Hallmark, and then I'll watch this and that.
exactly. I mean, what else does anyone have to do right now, right?
Sarah, I just got on my 2-week winter break from school, so I have time.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
A lot of nothing, probably.
Watch Lifetime movies.
Watch Lifetime movies now, and for 2 weeks. I mean, But first thing I do after a big break is I'll probably sleep in tomorrow until about 2 p.m. because you just kind of crash after that. You're just kind of like,
I bet, yeah.
It's an exhale, and you just kind of crash for 24 hours, and then after I get up, dust myself off, I'll have nothing to do. So.
And then do you go back in January?
Yeah, January. We are strictly virtual, but I go to school. The teachers go. and the kids stay home. So we're learning on Google Meet and all that crazy stuff. So I kind of like going to school because it gets me out of the house. Because when I do it here, I'm awful at it. I'm distractions everywhere. Price is Right is on. I just can't, teach. So in there, it's much better because I'm out of the house and I feel like I'm going to teach, which makes it better, I think.
Yeah, I commend everyone in how they're handling this in that situation.
Yeah.
You obviously, it's like, I don't think I would have the patience or even know how to do it. And then you see people coming up with creative ways to, reel each other in and keep the students focused and keep yourselves focused and all that stuff.
And the distractions the kids have. And I realize this, you think, not every kid is sitting at a desk by himself in a room. Like I had one the other day and I was tutoring him after school and he had all these distractions around him, mom being loud and the sister being loud and the dogs and the kids and the dad. And he's sitting on his couch trying to do work on top of everything else. And I was like, it's a miracle he could do anything because we forget that a lot of these kids don't have that structure at home on top of everything else. When they go to school, they get, not only do they get fed, but they get structure sometimes, which they need.
Right. That's true. And then mom's throwing a house party behind.
Basically, yeah. Yeah, it was the things I heard. I tell you, there was nothing inappropriate, but I was like, wow, how does this kid even concentrate with what he's hearing?
Yeah. You're like, there's a lot going on back there.
Ooh, there's a lot going on in the background.
Well, and I could even, I feel like it didn't happen, obviously. I went to just normal school, but had there been a pandemic when I was a kid in school, then they would have had to deal with like me online while my mom was blasting all my children in the background.
There you go. Exactly.
And that's just she would have been like, whatever, I can't miss my story. We got to watch this. So.
This is how we live now.
Gotta see what Erica Kane's up to.
You pulled out Erica Kane.
Yes, I did.
Nice work.
Thank you. Hey, my mom, all my children, that was her jam.
It was so many people's jam.
It was.
Maybe even mine. I don't even know, really.
And Silver. Remember her sister, Silver?
Yeah.
That's bad, because that was very obscure.
So good.
Awesome. Well, listen, we don't want to keep you. It's about time. I know you have to.
No, I can stay for longer.
Are you sure?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I mean, unless you're like, get off, then I can.
No.
No, that's what he says to me.
Yeah. He's like, Will, you can go now. You can go.
All right. With that, we will end the first quarter.
It's the end of the first quarter, bitches.
All right, a lot of show left to come up. We're going to talk about that Jets victory coming up next, but also we have some information coming up for that Washington game. Predictions, prognostications, sermons, weather, fashion, injury reports. But let's talk about that Jets win right after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
I feel so much better. It's like I'm surfing on this wave of positivity.
Holy shit, it's the second quarter.
Yeah, I could imagine as far as intros, Sarah, to other podcasts, that one was definitely one.
That's my favorite. I mean, listen, like you can only say all this nonsense so many ways, so it's more fun. When, you know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Nothing's going to ever make it exciting, so it's more fun when someone just has their own spin on it, and I like that.
And cat lover,
and
Sarah Colonna.
Cat lover, cat stalker.
That should be our podcast motto. We can only say this stuff so many different ways.
Same shit, different show.
That's very true. As we did. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, but I have a question because you guys
please.
keep saying the Jets win. The Jets won a game?
No. We beat the Jets.
Oh, God.
Win over the Jets.
A Jets win for us, I should say.
Oh, my God. I kept trying. I was like, are they saying the Jets won it? Because as far as I know, they're 0-13. Okay.
No.
If the Jets had won, we would be much grumpier right now.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
No, definitely. I know. Well, yeah, that's definitely not. I always thought, I think that too. I'm like, who's the team that has to, if they go completely defeated this season, then, that's another thing.
That's so scary when they're 0-12 and 0-13 and you play them.
I know. You don't want to be
the one.
The team.
No. The pressure.
That loses to them, and then you're like, you lost to the Jets. Like, no matter how good you are. And Fair enough. One thing that John, for anyone who doesn't know that's listening, John Ryan is my husband, former Seattle Seahawks punter. One thing he always reminds me of when we will watch like a team that should be winning versus a team that should be losing, and the script flips. He's like, it's still an elite team of football players. Like,
yes,
it's still professional athletes against professional athletes. So whether or not the team may be where they are one season, you have to remember, it's not like, oh my God, they just got beat up, like, beat by some kids off the street. Like, it's still professional athletes. So if that, you know what I mean? He gives me a good perspective in that way, where I'm like, oh, that's true. You have to kind of realize it's like, yeah, your team sucks, but yeah, you're still an elite team of athletes that can at any time turn around and beat a really good team. Even
absolutely, absolutely. We had that same discussion last week when we lost to the Giants. We were having that talk about any team on any given Sunday.
Yes, and that's it is, I guess, like just something you have to remind yourself, and probably as a person who played in his position, like you always have to remind, like, I'm sure athletes are reminding themselves of that all the time, but it's a good thing for fans to remember too, right?
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, absolutely.
Okay. You may get beat by the Jets, and it's going to be okay. Not great, but it's going to be fine.
It's going to be okay, everyone. It's going to be okay. But we're still going to sack Norton.
Well, it wasn't okay for the Jets last week because we beat them 40-3.
Yeah.
So luckily we weren't that team, and there's a lot of pressure when you play a team 0-12 or 0-13 that you don't want to be that one team. But Matt, what are your thoughts about that game last week?
Well, I think it's a game that kickers from around the league would prefer to never talk about.
Pretty much.
I have no idea what's going on with kickers that day. It's like there's some sort of magnetic force at Lumen Field pulling everything to the left or to the right or to whatever the hell they were. I mean, it's just insane. I think it was good. It was a complete shutout from the second drive of the game onwards, and that's what we wanted. I think, but we have to also keep in mind, of course, that if they had made some of those field goals, then actually it would have been a lot closer than not a lot closer, but it would have been a game at least by half time, I suppose. I think the INT was unfortunate and avoidable. I think Wilson was trying too hard to try and make something happen against a team where big things were already going to happen, but Wilson just has to try hard, and sometimes you push things to the point where bad things happen. I also think it was great to see Gino out there as well. I think it was great to get valuable reps in for second string quarterback too. So I was really pleased about that.
Yeah, it was the first time since 2017 someone not Russell Wilson hiked the ball in the game, which is crazy.
John threw it. John threw the ball. I mean, he counts.
2017 though, that was before that.
Yeah, I mean, he still has a better passing rating than the quarterback of the Jets. So
that's right. Good
point. That's a great.
I didn't have Matt's same take.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah, I didn't have Matt's same take on that interception. I thought because the frustration for the Giants game, a lot of it was that Russell kept holding on to the ball and he wasn't throwing it up there and giving his guys a chance to make a play. And I felt like in that instance, he threw the ball up to DK over in that side of the end zone, giving him a chance to make a play, essentially. The defender just made an excellent defensive play. I mean, he bobbled the ball in the air and caught it as he's falling to his back. I mean, tip of the hat to him for making that play. And most of the time, that's not what's going to happen. You give DK a chance to make a play, and he's going to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I thought it was more of a spectacular play. My son and I got in a little debate about that, but I thought it was more just a great defensive play. And I was not concerned. Obviously, 40-3, I shouldn't have been. But, that was a mistake. But, Will, what were your thoughts about the game?
Well, it was exactly the kind of game we needed right when we needed it, especially after the Giants game. But just to go out there and really beat somebody into the turf, it's largest margin of victory since 2012. But something else to keep in mind, though, is that, we did drop 3 interceptions.
Yes.
We had a bad penalty on a third down where we would have gotten the Jets off the field and would have got me my prognostication, but I'm not bitter. When you play a team like the Jets, mistakes like that aren't going to hurt you. When we play a team like Washington or the Rams or whoever we're going to probably play in the playoffs, we need to take advantage of those opportunities. So
Yeah.
I hope the team is feeling good about themselves, but I hope they went in and watched some film this week and said, you know what, we can do even better. We need to do better. Let's get those opportunities next time.
I agree with you, and it was interesting because it seemed like even when our in the fourth quarter, we were still mostly second stringers still seemed to be holding their own against the Jets, which was kind of sad if you were a Jets fan. And I know Rich Gannon went on about a 5-minute rant about how awful the Jets were during the game. And I thought, my son turned to me after his rant and he said, I think he's upset he had to fly to Seattle for this game. I said, I think he is too. He said, I had to get him all the way to Seattle to watch this. But he really let the Jets have it on air. I mean, he just kept going on and on about their only Pro Bowler is a 38-year-old running back. And he just went on and on. I'm like, wow, Rich is a little angry right now. But so I hope Rich Gannon,
is a long flight to have to watch that game.
It is, and you go all the way out there, and then you have to have all this filler material because it's 40-3, and they were talking about some accident they saw or something, and it was bad. It was bad.
And I'd be like, I think restaurants are open right now in New York and not in Seattle. So I mean, you know what I mean? Like,
bars
can't
especially.
I just stay in New York and have a nice sandwich out in the 3-degree weather
and the 20-inch snow that they have now, of course.
Yeah, instead of watching this game.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. It was fun to watch the second stringers get some good playing time, and it was good to see our guys rest at this time of year. It's crucial to get healthy. It seems like we're getting healthy. I'm sure Dr. Dustin will talk more about that third quarter, but about us getting actually healthier as the season goes on, which is great news. But a couple of significant things happened in this game. Of course, Jamal Adams set a record for the most sacks by a defensive back in a season, and he's still got 3 games to go, which is just amazing. And then Russell Wilson, in my opinion, and since I live in Indiana, so I'm not surrounded by Seahawk fans. Whenever I bring this topic up, I will tell you non-Seahawk fans feel the same way we do. It's not even a discussion about Russell Wilson going to Hall of Fame. But solidifying that by being the first quarterback to have 9 straight winning seasons after last week, just a remarkable feat. And you could say it was the defense at the beginning. You could say whatever you want, but 9 straight winning seasons by a quarterback is just remarkable. So another feather in his cap.
I think anyone can say anything about it, but everyone can spin whatever they want. But there's no denying his talent.
Absolutely.
He's so good, so it's awesome to watch. And is it better when certain people are behind him, or on the O-line? Yeah, of course. But he himself is you got to give him all the accolades. The rest of the team too, obviously. But he's the one that's there right now, that's been there for a long time and delivering this. So it's great.
Right. And I like to ask people around here because they're Colt fans, so they were going to have a horse in the race. And I always bring up the topic about Russell Wilson, so to speak, because they're Colt fans. Nice. But I always ask them, what about Russell? And they're like, oh, it's not even a question. I mean, and as far as Hall of Fame, even non-Seahawk fans see that. So that makes me feel better about it, because you always feel, well, maybe I'm a little biased, because he's our quarterback. But and my son doesn't know just how lucky he is, because he started watching. He's 15. Yes. He's 15, so 9 straight winning seasons. So 6 years old is when Russell came in the league. So he doesn't know life before Russell. And he doesn't know, when Matt Hasselbeck was our best quarterback in our franchise. And Matt's a great guy, and he's a great quarterback and a wonderful guy. But, Matt is a good quarterback. He's always been a good quarterback and a very good quarterback, but he's not this level. And to be just blessed with this guy.
Stan Gelbaugh, Kelly Stocker,
oh my
John
gosh,
Freeze,
92.
Rick Meyer.
Oh.
Yeah, there's always going to be those people where you're like, I'm also a big baseball fan. So no matter how crappy the Angels are, who I'm big fans of, I've been an Orange County girl for a very long time, and no matter how big of a fan of baseball I am or whatever, and no matter how bad they suck, I'm like, but I get to watch Mike Trout, and and that goes for like so many people. You just go, if you don't have to be a fan of the Seahawks to be able to appreciate, like, I get to watch Russell Wilson play football.
Yes.
The guy's, a monster. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, you got to give the accolades where they're due.
Well, it's funny.
Otani's interesting to watch from afar too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, and Russell, real quick, Russell Wilson's story along those lines. My nephew's a Rams fan, so we used to go to St. Louis for the games, and of course I'm surrounded by Rams fans. And by the way, St. Louis Rams fans were really, really always nice to me when I was down there.
Yeah, me too.
And so it was a game where Russell ran for 100 yards, I think. And he ran on this thing, and you could just hear the crowd. I mean, it was almost like sighs, like, oh my gosh, there he goes, that kind of thing. And this guy behind me said, that's amazing. And I said, I bought one player jersey in the last 5 years. I said, guess who it is? He said, number 3. I said, exactly. I mean, just, other people, they don't get to see him except maybe once a year. And even the people down in St. Louis, you could just hear the gasps in the audience when he would do something amazing. They're just like, how do you fight that? I mean...
That's a great story. I mean, it's a great story. It's weird that the jersey wasn't Jon Ryan, but like otherwise,
well, that's the second jersey I bought.
Otherwise, that was a great story.
Did I tell you the time when Russell Wilson gave me a hand slap at North Carolina and nearly broke my elbow?
No.
So last year I was in Carolina to watch the Carolina game with my sister, who's a Carolinas fan. And after the game, he was coming along the sidings at the edge of the stadium, and he was doing like the general sort of putting his hand up and just slap as he's going back towards the tunnel. And I just put my hand out, and he's got the biggest hands on any person on the.
He does.
I mean, his hands are like shovels.
Yes.
And he does this sort of hand slap, and I don't know whether I'm a gay man, so maybe I've got limp wrists. I don't know, but anyway, my whole wrist.
I think you have pretty strong
360 degree, 180 degree spin twist thing. And my sister's like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "It hurts, but it's been a good hurt." It's a good hurt.
So good.
Well, see, now you made fun of me when I talked about his hands all those years ago.
Yeah, but you said it weird. you said he had really big hands, and the way you said it, I'm like, well, that's the way I normally talk about men, but you would like really big hands.
That was back when he did the Nickelodeon thing. He was the first time he hosted the sports awards, and he said something. He brought his hands out. I went, oh my God, look at the size of his hands.
But you also just said he had a really big hand, so I don't know what's the difference. Like,
yeah,
I know. Matt's like, really as a gay man, and blah blah blah. And then he started talking about how it hurt, and he liked it. But Dennis said it weird.
Good hurt. I didn't say I liked that. I said it was a good hurt.
Oh, okay.
Well, thank you for clearing that up.
Yeah, really. Yeah. All right. Well, let's go ahead and let's see how we did on our predictions here. Let's go ahead and go to the 2-minute warning.
Holy shit! It's a 2-minute warning.
Woo! All right, 2-minute warning. Our posse prediction challenge on the score 40-3. A point to Dustin because he had 42-10. That's pretty good, Dustin.
Thank you. Yeah, I got completely lucky.
That was nice. Prognostications, Little Mo and Chris got their prognostications. Game balls. Everyone gets. You get a game ball. You get a game ball. Everyone gets a game ball. It was Lockett. It was Metcalf. It was Adams. Come on. You tell me one that doesn't deserve it. Carson. They all deserved it. And the over-under was under. A point to Jose, Mike, Mark, Carey, and Moses. Individual scores this week look like this. Dustin, Little Mo, Chris, Jose, Mike, Mark, Carey, Moses with 2, Jimmy and Will, and Maddie and Andy with 1. Individual scores after 13 games. Jose leads with 29, Mike with 27, Little Mo with 27, Chris with 24, Carey 23, Moses 21, Will 20, Jimmy 19, Mark 17, Andy, Dustin 16, Maddie 13. So,
shut up.
Team scores going into 3 games and maybe the playoffs. Team 12, 143. Team Posse, 113. Gentlemen, we're down 30 points with 3 games to go.
Plenty of time.
Yeah, play
time.
We are the too little, too late. Over. Yeah. 4 out of 5 years we're going to lose this thing, but who cares? Let's go to halftime.
Holy shit, it's halftime.
All right, coming up, a lot more show. Washington game information aplenty. Game score predictions. But before we do all that, it's another rousing rendition of a 12-Man Fan Jam Show halftime trivia. And as we do this, I'm going to go off for just a moment and buy a JON RYAN jersey. But I'll come back for trivia, and we'll do that next.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show. A Seahawk Positivity production.
Yes, it's halftime, and welcome to another fun-filled edition of the best play-along Seahawk-themed trivia game show on the internet. It's time for 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. And here's your host, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Island Church of Seahawk Positivity. Yes, thank you, me, and welcome to another fine edition of 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia of the World. The trivia game that tests the knowledge of both our posse and our listeners. Our contestants are the posse themselves, Will, Matt, and Dustin. Here are the rules. So here's how the trivia game works. There'll be 2 rounds of questions. Each contestant answers 1 question each round. If they get it correct, they get 1 point. After 2 rounds of questions, there'll be a final trivia question worth 2 points. If there's a tie after that, then the tie players go on to a special secret overtime question where the winner becomes reigning 12-man Fan Jam Show trivia champion and also gets a prize chosen especially for them. As an added bonus to those listening on the Seahawk Positivity YouTube channel, the questions and possible answers will be displayed on your screen so you, the viewer and listener, can play along as well. If you do, please let us know how you did on the questions. Remember, there's no Googling, no phone a friend, and please, no wagering. However, there is a lifeline. Before taping this show, my 2 charming Seahawk fan children, Mosette and Little Mo, did take the quiz as well. If the contestants want to know what the kids said, they can ask that but once and only once during the entire game show and only in the first 2 rounds. Now let's get ready to play 12-Man Fan Jam Show Halftime Trivia. Alright, you guys know the rules. It's about Washington. The football team, I guess. Matt was the winner last week as he made sure to tell me in between the break. So, Matt, number 1, 2,
Just trying
or...
to save time for you, that's all.
I appreciate it. 1, 2, or 3?
3, please.
Matt goes to 3. Will?
1, please.
Dustin's going to be 2, please. All right.
That was a pretty good impersonation of Matt there.
Oh, all of us or just Will?
Mostly just Will.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, no, you're good too. You're good too, Dennis.
Oh,
You can't salvage that, Dustin.
no. What that ship has sailed. So
That ship has sunk.
Will, here we go. Are you ready?
No.
Well, here you go. Anyway, where was the Washington football team originally based? What city were they originally based in? Was it Baltimore, Boston, or Norfolk, Virginia? Dance! Washington football team originally from Baltimore, Boston, or Norfolk, Virginia.
I want to say Boston.
Boston? No, you're not in Norfolk and Way, huh?
Nope.
Okay, go with Boston. Well, Little Mo went with Boston. Does that make you change your mind? Little Mo went with Boston.
I'm not Matt.
Okay. Mosette went with Baltimore. You went with Boston. Yeah, it was Boston. Congratulations, you're on the board.
Can you just say Norfolk again for me?
Norfolk. I can't. Norfolk.
Book.
Norfolk. Virginia. I don't know.
I'm from Suffolk.
Suffolk.
Norfolk is above us in England. That's where you get the name from.
Oh.
I don't know. I just know there's like a Navy base there or something.
Yeah, I just know it's
I love Americans.
If you drive, it's the Norfolk Way. I'm driving. No. Norfolk and Way. Am I driving? All right.
Way.
All right. Number 2 is Dustin. Dustin.
Yeah.
First time Seattle played Washington was in 1976. You remember that game?
Absolutely.
Okay, good. Who scored the only touchdown for the Seahawks in that game? Steve Largent, Sam McCullum, or Don Testerman? Only touchdown. Largent, McCullum, Testerman.
I don't know. It seems like I go with the obvious answer too much. I'm going to go with the guy I never heard of, Testerman.
Testerman. Going with the Testerman. Going with the Testerman.
Mm-hmm.
Little Mo and Mosette both said Steve Largent. But that's too obvious, right?
I don't like the way you said
that. Yeah, it's too obvious. You got it right.
Okay, good.
It's Testerman. Running back then, by the way.
It's like he either picked that name because he's the guy who did it or because he's trying to be tricky.
Or maybe he was on the roster I was looking at. All right.
Just making up names.
I'm not making up names. Matt.
Hello.
The Seahawks played Washington in 1980. They shut Washington out. Shut them out. But how many points did the Seahawks score in the shutout? 14, 17, or 24?
I figured with the Seahawks, it had been like
they
2.
got a single touchdown last time, didn't they? So they probably weren't very good. That was 4 years later. I suppose we've got to give them a break. I'll ask the kids.
Okay. Little Mo said 17, and Mosette said 24.
Nah, it's 14 then. Nah.
You're going against the kids, are you?
Always.
Yeah. I don't know how you do this.
Even more amazing thing is that it only works for him.
I'm going to start looking for cameras in my house. I swear to God. I'm going to start looking for cameras in my house. Unbelievable. All right. Well, we're all even, so the order will remain the same, 4, 5, or 6. Matt?
6, please.
All right, Will?
4, please.
And Dustin at 5. All right, Will, question 4.
Yeah, 5, please.
Yeah. You're welcome. Hey, Will?
Yes.
What are the most points the Seahawks have scored in Washington, against Washington, in Washington? 27, 28, or 31? Most points the Seahawks have scored in Washington, 27, 28, or 31?
I will ask the kids.
All right. Little Mo said 28. Mosette said 31. Nobody said 27.
Well, I will prove this only works for Matt. I am going to say 27.
Oh, okay. You're going to prove that it only works for Matt, huh?
Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how this works out.
Very bold.
Yeah, unfortunately, it only works for Matt. 28 in 1994. Yeah. Shock of shocks.
If I'm guessing anyway, I might as well have fun with it.
Might as well. Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
The last time the Seahawks played Washington in Washington was back in 2014.
Nuh-uh.
Okay. You got a better answer? Both starting quarterbacks threw the same amount of touchdown passes in that game. How many touchdown passes did they both throw? Was it 1, 2, or 3? They both threw the same amount. Was it 1, 2, or 3 of touchdown passes in 2014?
3.
3.
Sounds good.
Mosette and Lil Mo both said 3. You said 3. It's 2.
Bullshit.
Yeah. You know. All right, Matthew. Here we go. Your question is not a football question, of course. Has to do with Washington, D.C.
Yes.
How many bathrooms are in the White House? 33, 34, or 35? How many bathrooms in the White House, Matt? 33, 34, or 35?
There's a lot of shit to flush.
Yeah.
I feel like he's probably done a tour there and knows the answer.
No, I bet the resident now has Twittered in those, at least half of them.
No, we were there last year. He was building a wall around himself. And he didn't get any tours on, and he was about to be I was going to say in preached, which is a very different step.
In preached.
What were the numbers? Give me the numbers again. Sorry.
33, 34, or 35 bathrooms in the White House.
Probably 33.
Probably 33. Yeah. Well, both kids said 35.
Good.
You said 33. It's 35. They were right.
That's a good job. But I didn't ask them.
If I were president, I would go around and I would hit all 35 as soon as possible.
Watch them. Yeah.
You'll mark your territory.
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
Everybody tied at 1, but do not worry. You know why? It's final question. A number. And it's Dustin's favorite thing because there's a little math involved here.
Are there decimal places, Moses?
No decimals. But there's a little math involved. The order will go Matt, Will, and Dustin. I'm sorry, Dustin, Matt, Will. I apologize.
I like the other way.
Yeah, I know, but it's not going to happen. All right. Here is your question, gentlemen, starting with Dustin. The Seahawks have played Washington in the playoffs 3 times. 3 times. What's the total amount of offensive yards the Seahawks have accumulated in those 3 games? So total offensive yards the Seahawks in 3 games against Washington in 3 playoff games.
Oh, I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, I like that one.
I don't.
All right, then.
I'll say, seems like not a lot of more super high scoring, obviously. I don't know. I'll say 805. And then side note, I'm doing 2 college classes currently, and they're both math classes. And it's
well, there you go.
Nice.
Yeah, and I had to buy like a calculator for them. I don't know they're so expensive. I had to spend like $120 something on a freaking calculator. I have one on my phone, but I can't use that one.
Ah!
It's not allowed for the tests.
Oh, boo. That sucks.
Yeah.
So your 125 calculator got you at 805 is what you're telling me.
Yeah, I put the algorithm in there and stuff real quick.
Cool. Carried the 3 and all that. Will, 805.
I am going to say 701.
701. Matt.
1 yard.
1 yard!
We only managed 1 yard.
In 3 games and won the games.
Pretty impressive since we won those games.
Yeah.
1 yard.
Yeah, wow.
This is total yards, right? It's not
total
just
yards
passing.
for 3 games, yeah. Total yards.
Okay.
Total yards, yeah.
I feel better about my answer now.
Well, the total amount of offensive yards for the Seahawks in 3 games, 3 playoff games against Washington, 1,018.
Wow, nice.
Knight Rider.
So it wasn't 1 yard then.
It was not 1 yard.
It was slightly above.
1 yard and then another 1,000 more on top of that.
Yeah. You guys were a little conservative on your choices, I think.
Well, originally I was going to say 1,000, but that seemed too high, given it's how sometimes we just have those clunkers that we still win.
Yeah, but I mean, they averaged. That would mean they averaged what 300 and something, 330.
Yeah,
so that's not That's not a lot. I mean, really.
The only one I could really remember was in 2012 when we couldn't really do anything in the first half.
Right, but then we ran all over him in the second half.
And RG3 tore up his leg.
Yes, he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
As did Chris Clemens.
Hey guys, Dustin won. Congratulations, Dustin.
Woo! Thank you. Woo! It's my night. It's my night.
It's your night. It's your night. Order a trophy. It won't get there for a while. About 3 weeks before they'll show up. Hey, another crowd pleasing, home stopping.
Next day shipping. That won't happen.
Award-winning, long-distance shipping edition of your 12-Man Fan Gym Show halftime trivia
of the world.
We'll be right back with the second half of the show. Right after this.
Don't hassle the Hoff.
Don't hassle the Hoff.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Holy shit, it's the third quarter.
Hey, welcome to the third quarter of your 12-Man Fan Jam Show. We have had a wonderful show so far. First quarter, we were entertained by the Christmas traditions of JON RYAN and his wife, Sarah Colonna. If you missed that, I don't know how you got to the third quarter and not listen to the first quarter, but go back and listen to it again. It's a lot of fun. But this third quarter, we are going to talk about that upcoming game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Washington football team, I guess. 1:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time kickoff, 10:05 a.m. on the West Coast in merry old England. Matt?
6 p.m.
6 p.m. So you get to watch it. That's good. Yes. So let's please see how healthy these teams are by turning to our own doctor, Dr. Dustin, with the 12-Man Fan Jam Show injury report. Dr. Dustin, tell us the news.
Doctor, give me the news.
All right, so we're going to start with the Washington football team this week. So they had an incident with Alex Smith. He had a calf injury. He was cleated. I don't know if you guys remember that or not. It's kind of a scary.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind of a scary moment. Because he had that leg injury previously,
right.
And you see that, and he's bleeding all over the place. People are worried, but he's okay. He's fine. He's cool, but he's not playing in this football game. Alex Smith is out. We're going to be seeing their backup quarterback. This is a name that Seahawks fans will be familiar with. He is a starting linebacker for the Washington football team, but he hurt his ankle, and he will not be playing. That is Kevin Pierre-Louis.
I always liked him, yeah.
Yeah, but he was a fan favorite for sure. And then one of their linebackers has a concussion. A different linebacker has a concussion. He's out. His name's Cole Holcomb. And then this is kind of a big one for them. Doubtful for this game is their leading rusher, Antonio Gibson.
Yes.
He hurt his little toe, or he hurt a little toe. One of his piggies is injured. He's got an owie. He's doubtful. So
he did not play last week either.
Yeah. That guy's, his little pigs went home.
Yes.
All right, and now for the Seattle Seahawks, we have 3 people that are out for this game. No surprise, Travis Homer's missing another game. He's had several injuries over the last probably month and a half, but he's down to one, like he was last week, just knee. He's getting better. That's progress. Our offensive line's been having a lot of issues with injuries, and that continues to be true this week. Jamarco Jones is out with a groin injury, and Phil Haynes is out with a groin injury. None of those guys participated in practice. Then we have the questionables. We'll see how this goes. Starting off with Carlos Dunlap. He had limited practice on Friday. He was held out most of the week, did not play last week. Hopefully he'll be in there. He'll be a game time decision, but given as how we know what we know about their offense and what's going on over there in Washington, I wouldn't be surprised if they sit him for the week. Mm-hmm. Brandon Shell, speaking of the offensive line again, he's still dealing with an ankle injury, did not participate in practice. Sounds like he's going to be more of a game time decision. But of note is that Aboihi is actually, he's full go. He can play if he needs to. If Brandon Shell can't get it done, he can't get in the game. Safety Demarius Randall has a foot injury. He didn't participate in practice. Cornerback Jason Stanley has a shoulder injury. He did not participate in practice. And on a positive note, tomorrow there's a possibility that we might have some guys activated that have not been around. Mm-hmm. We have Dunbar, full practice all week. We have Penny, full practice all week. Apparently they're looking good. And then
Greg Olson,
yeah, he practiced. I would be surprised if he actually played, but be on the lookout for Penny and Dunbar to be in there.
Yep.
And that is all the injuries and all the updates that we have for now.
Excellent. And the league no longer hates Josh Gordon.
The league no longer hates Josh Gordon. My goodness.
Yeah, so we got to love that. Yeah. We got to love that. Thank you, Dr. Dustin. And now let's take a look at what the weather's going to be for that game by turning to a guy living in England. Yes, it's time for the 12-Man Fan Jam Show weather and fashion report with Matt from merry old England. Oh, Matt.
It's raining man.
Yes, thank you, Moses. Well, we're off to the federal capital of your wonderful country, a place where you will often find unusual weather patterns, all because of the amount of hot air coming out of the White House, probably, mixed with the sudden intakes of breath and vacuous silence from the Senate and House, combined with the moisture and sweat dribbling down the foreheads of Republican senators everywhere. All of this combines to create its own unique weather. So who better to ask than the foremost expert on climate and weather in Washington, D.C., who I understand to be a Republican senator from Oklahoma, Mr. Jim Inhofe, who apparently carried out his own scientific weather experiment in 2015 when he brought in a snowball the size of a melon into the Senate chamber and then promptly threw it at the Senate president, saying, "Catch this," to prove that, and I quote him, "it's pretty cold outside," thereby completely disproving climate change once and for all. So I emailed him. Clearly an expert. So I emailed him. Now, apparently he's quite busy with other things at the moment, so he never got back to me. So I was forced to check the NFL weather website, and apparently it's going to be cloudy with a 15% chance of rain at kickoff. Temperatures will be a chilly 40 degrees Fahrenheit, or for anyone from the grown-up countries around the world, that's 4 degrees centigrade. Now, what to wear for this game? Well, I have been to Washington, D.C., Moses. I was there last year, in fact, at this time.
Yes,
so if I was to go back to Washington, D.C., I would wear about 100 layers of anything I could fit into a suitcase. It was by far the coldest I have ever been on a holiday in my life, and that includes the time I got locked in a lesbian bar whilst on holiday in Gran Canaria by mistake, after I accidentally entered the chill freezer where they were storing bottles rather than the toilets.
Oh.
Now, as you know, I like to suggest fashions that help you blend in and really get a feel of the local community. So, as you're in Washington, you could realistically go as Speaker Pelosi's false teeth. Just remember to jump up and down uncontrollably when excited, and always look like you're on the verge of falling out at a moment's notice. Or you could go as former Secretary of State and First Lady Senator Hillary Clinton. It's okay. I'll email you the confidential dress code to your personal email server later. But if I was to go to this game, I would probably go as the tour guide who had the pleasure of taking me and my sister around the city on the open deck of a double-decker bus in sub-zero temperatures, proudly showing us all the things the British burnt down in 1814. That's quite awkward, actually. Truth be told, it was an awkward day. Just remember to throw a Hawks jersey over all of that, and you'll be good to go. With all that being said, it looks like it's going to be perfect Seahawks weather. So, Moses, it's back over to you.
Oh, fantastic, Matt. Thank you very much. And thank you, Dustin, for your report as well.
Hey, it's what we do.
That's what you do.
And now, please be upstanding and welcome our own Reverend Moses from the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity for his sermon for this upcoming game. Oh, Reverend!
Yes, it is I, the self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church of Seahawk Positivity. How's everyone this evening?
Doing well, thank you, Moses.
It's really good.
Have you been vaccinated, Reverend?
I have gotten vaccinated, not yet. I am in line, though, but Colonna keeps trying to get me vaccinated on other things, but I don't want to go there.
Say that was penicillin, man. That's
yeah,
different.
I don't want her vaccinations. Her needles look a little weird, and she gave one to little Jimmy Brown, and he still won't get off the top of the steeple. He's been up there for 3 days, so I don't want to go there. But what an exciting show it has been. You had Sarah Colonna on, and you had JON RYAN on. It's very exciting. Colonna got real excited. She had to excuse herself, go in the bathroom for about 10 minutes and come back. Now, I don't know what she did in there, but her eyes are as big as 8 balls right now, and she's running around the church like she owns the place. I don't know. I hope I can get her back later, but I'm going to let her wear herself out. She tuckers out, and she'll sleep for 3 days. But friends, if you don't mind, I'd like to get a little church up in here. It is so wonderful to be back here at the 12-Man Fan Jam Show as we roll on into the season, and we use that one true power to continue to roll, and that is the power of Seahawk positivity. Reading from the book of the 2020 NFL season, chapter 14, verses 3 to 12. For there was no time to celebrate. There was much work left to be done. So did they then travel eastward to the land of leaders and houses of white, to the land where they were met by those who have no name, and those with no name did then wish to erase those within Seahawk positivity. But the power was too strong for them, my brethren. So they did go fall into the ground, and they were battered, defeated, and buried in an unmarked grave. And those within Seahawk positivity, there was much rejoicing. This is the power in the word, my brethren. Do you feel the power of Seahawk positivity? Do you feel? Raise your hands. Raise them high like you're about to slap a losing Cheeto upside his head. Raise them high. Now, if your hands are raised and you believe in the power of Seahawk positivity, let's hear what I'm in nice and loud.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yes, and if you believe in the power to give our defense the ability to make Washington feel like they hit a wall paid for by Mexico, let's hear it. I'm in nice and loud.
I'm in.
Can never tell what that little... You never tell what who's going to buy what wall around this country. If you believe in the power to give our offense the ability to score more than Donald Trump at a monster truck rally, let's hear it. I'm in nice and loud.
I'm in.
I'm in.
Yes, that is the power, my friends. Now put those hands down. We're loud and proud, my 12s. This team's from Washington. They don't have a name. It's just like that unnamed stray cat everyone feeds. Nobody wants it for keeps either. Too many fleas on that thing. And if you don't have a name, how can you expect people to root for you? Seriously. It's the second biggest embarrassment in Washington right now. You know what I'm saying. The other one's going to leave in January too, just like this team, but that's another topic. Colonna, get on those keys and play on them like you mean something, honey. Get up off the floor. That a girl now. Pick yourself up and start playing. There it is. Yes, this has been your self-appointed Reverend Moses of the St. Paul Allen Church Seahawk Positivity. Go forth and spread the good word of Seahawk Positivity. Praise Largent. Praise Cortez. Praise Walter Jones. Praise Kenny Easley. Go Hawks! That is the end of the third quarter. We'll be right back with the fourth quarter. Our predictions, our prognostications, and game balls for your game between Seattle and Washington. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the 12-Man Fan Jam Show, a Seahawk Positivity production.
If there's a better use for the internet, I haven't found it.
Holy shit. It's the fourth quarter.
Hey, it's the fourth quarter of your episode 820 of your 12-Man Fan Jam show. It's been quite an episode. Jon Ryan, Sarah Colonna stopped by, talked about Christmas, talked about some other things, and we had a wonderful halftime trivia game where Dustin won.
That's what made it wonderful.
That's what made it wonderful for Dustin. We had all our sermons, our injury report, our fashion, our weather, and now we're going to make our predictions for this game between your Seattle Seahawks and the Washington football team at 1:05 Eastern, 10:05 West Coast, and 6 o'clock in England. Seahawks are a 5.5-point favorite. The over and under will be at 44.5. That's a little low than usual. So let's look at the picks. First for Team 12, Little Mo, 23-17. Metcalf, 100 yards receiving. DK Metcalf game ball. Jose, football team tries a quick play as his prognostication. I'm tempted to pull a Matt and carry and predict a loss, but I'm going 27-24 Seahawks game ball to Lockett. Mike, Seahawks 30, the former Potatoes 17. You get it, Redskins? Yeah. Game ball to Lockett, not Dockett. Prediction, 3 sacks for the Hawks. Mark, Washington's going to be tough. Their offense isn't great, but that defense. 17-13 Hawks, game ball to Griffin. Carson scores both TDs. Carey, after a very pleasant, not stressful, easy watch, get well game. I think it's back to normal for our beloved Hawks this week. I think it's going to be a close game, and momentum is going to swing multiple times in each quarter. How close? Seattle 27, Washington 24. Prognostication, why bother? I suck at this. Well, she's still trying. So more of a throw some spaghetti at the wall and hope it sticks. It's going to be Chris Carson and Carlos Hyde combined for 100 yards rushing, and game ball goes to Carson. And with that, I'm off the store to stock up on the medicinal beverages I believe I'm going to need for this game. Go Hawks. Jimmy.
That's actually a pretty clever prognostication given how they used both running backs.
It is.
Yep.
Jimmy, going to be an old school snot knocker. I like that. Snot knocker. I love how many people are doubting the Hawks. Bring it on, bitches. That's what he says. Hawks win 2016. Carson game ball prognostication. Hawks with 2 interceptions. Team posse, Chris. Well, that was much better. The Hawks come out and made sure the Jets stayed in the lead of the race to sign Trevor Lawrence. Now the Seahawks, who have a chance to confirm a playoff spot with a very simple premise, just win, baby, head east once again to an early kickoff against the no-name football team. Washington are led by comeback player of the year Alex Smith, not for this game, who may or may not be playing at time of press. Yes, the answer is no. Washington has been playing well recently with wins over the previously undefeated Steelers and Niners. Their defense looks solid, and they found a nice little running back and former Seahawk J.D. McKissick. Good for him. So we may have to drag out a win out of them, and it may be as hard as SEAL Team 6 may have to work on dragging someone special out of the White House of Washington come January 20th. I mentioned no names. This is all from Chris, by the way. Our O-line needs to keep Russell safe from the defensive monster that Chase Young, who last week looked so hungry he could eat a White House, Super Bowl, McDonald's feast all by himself. To that end, watch my game ball tight end Will Dissly shine with lots of quick, short passes, opening up the deep game later on. Watch the defense gets at least 2 takeaways as the Seahawks go on to win by a score of Seahawks 24, Washington 16. This is the way. Andy, game ball, Geno Smith. Just kidding. Let's go with DK Metcalf. Prognostication is he who gets 3 touchdowns. As he also gets 3 touchdowns. So 3 touchdowns for Metcalf. Seahawks win big, 45-21. Go hard or go home, apparently, from Andy.
Goodness.
I know. Dustin, what you got?
Well, I think that the way the Redskins are set up with that strong defensive line and overall strong defense, I think that they're designed as a team that's going to give the Seahawks fits. So I think we're going to have a hard time scoring. That being said, I think their offense is going to have a hard time doing anything. So I'm going to go with the under on this one. I'm going to say the Seahawks 17 and the football team 9.
Woo!
Yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be one of those games where we see a lot of koalas. Just saying.
I'm ready.
On our game day chat, yes.
Yep. 5 koala game coming up.
Yep. And then for the game ball, I'm trying to think. I think if we're going to, I think our scores are going to have to come from the running backs. So I think my prognostication is that both scores will come on running plays. both touchdowns come on running
Who's
plays.
your game ball?
Game ball, I will give to, it's got to be a defender, Jamal Adams.
Adams and 2 rush touchdowns. All right. Will. Hi, Will.
Hi, Moses.
How you doing?
I miss Sarah.
I do too, man. Don't bring it up. You're gonna make me cry, and I don't want to. Push through. Try to make your predictions.
Okay. My score prediction: Seahawks 23. Team formerly known as the Potomac Drainage Basin Indigenous Persons 12. My prognostication, I could get knocked out on this tomorrow before the game even starts, but I'm going to say Rashad Penny is activated from IR and scores a touchdown.
Oh, nice. That'd be great.
And my game ball is going to KJ Wright!
Wah, wah, wah.
All right. Hi, Matt.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Yourself?
Oh, not too unwell, thank you. What you got?
Good. Well, I think, it's going to be a close one, so I think it's going to be Seahawks 20, the Washington football team 17.
All right.
I'm going to give my game ball to Bobby Wagner.
Okay.
And my prognostication, there will be 5 turnovers in this game in total.
Ugly.
How about 4 for them, 1 for us?
A lot of koala going on there.
I'm just saying, and I've got to say, I'm ready for the koala chat. So anyone listening out there, come and join us on the game day thread. If you see a koala, it just means that the drive was a bit meh.
Yeah. We haven't made koalas recently. That's on our 12-man Fan Jam Show Facebook page, by the way. So, and I guess now it's my turn.
It is.
Yeah. The Seahawks were given a pre-Christmas gift in the form of a late-season bye last week as they beat the Jets up like they were tourists standing in the middle of Times Square looking up and saying, "Hey, look at the size of all them buildings." You do that, you might as well just hand your money out right there. But anyway, those free passes to victory lane are no longer free, and it starts this week as the Seahawks head to our nation's capital to face Washington. Yeah, I didn't want to go off on a rant here. But how difficult is it really to come up with a team name? I mean, it's not like they suddenly knew their logo was racist and they had to change it in 24 hours. They had weeks for this. I mean, you're the nation's capital, too. I mean, the Washington filibusters.
Really?
The Washington filibusters. The Washington vetoes. The Washington Posts. The Washington abstentions. Something. But for what this team in Washington lacks in a name, they lack even more on offense. Sure, they've won 4 in a row. But that was with Alex, don't call me Jeff Smith, who will be replaced this week by, well, I'm going to call him Jeff Haskins just for fun. Under Haskins, Washington was 1-3 and averaged under 20 points a game. The team's 5-4 under Crazy Leg Smith. No recounting needed here. Defensively, though, this team is stacked. The front 4 to Washington is a wall even you-know-who would be proud of building, and they're top 10 against the run and the pass. The Seahawks had a bit of a vacation in the second half of last week's win. And like so many vacations, you had to get away. Just like with the Go-Go's. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Go-Go's. A little bit of vacation last week, but that's over. Like so many vacations, there's a lot of work waiting for this team. Time to roll up those heavy shoulder-padded 80 sleeves and get back to work. Watch our Seahawks go, go, go. As the defense forces 3 turnovers by prognostication. Watch my game ball. Chris Carson run over Washington like a bulldozer. And watch the Seahawks win by a score of Seattle Seahawks 24, Washington 16. Book it! Wow. Did I get the names right this week?
No, but close enough.
Okay. Yeah, close
It's all
enough.
good.
Oh, good. Hey, wow. What a show this was. What a surprise to have Sarah Colonna and JON RYAN stop by and say hi and talk to us about Christmas and Steve Hauschka and other things that are in the cat and other things that are going on in our lives. It's just a real thrill. We are so honored and blessed that they joined us. It looks like it's time, however, to bring this wonderful 12-man Fan Jam show to a sad close. We're glad you decided to waste some time with us. We hope you laughed a little and you learned a little bit. You learned that JON RYAN loves Christmas. You learn that, cats that are jerks should be called Rudy. And I think finally...
It's a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. And finally you learn that when I don't have a script in front of me, I don't know how to intro people. So, on behalf of my partner in crime, Matt, our new sound Shadowhawk Will. Yeah, whatever. Will. Hi, Will.
Ow.
Thanks for being here. Statsman Mark, wherever he is. Dustin as the Beaver. Roger Goodell. Mosette, Little Mo, Jimmy, Chris, Jose, Carey, Mark, Ty, Turner, Andy, Northern Hawk, Kona, Mike Pascal, Willie Joe Namath, Mark Gastineau, Joe Theismann, Billy Kilmer, and of course our special guests, Sarah Colonna and Jon Ryan. This is Moses saying, until next time, good night, everybody, and go Hawks!
Hey, go Hawks!
Go Hawks!
I miss Sarah, too.
Wait till next week, we've got beast mode coming on.
Liar!
We can try.
He's coming all the way from New Zealand.